Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. We'd like to present to you three articles of interest. And before I do it, we'd like to let you know this is for review, informational, and educational purposes. It's not to take the credit for the intellectual property of the article. The full credit to the intellectual property of the article goes to the publisher, which is, in this case, Tech Explorer, with a story by Science X staff. Our headline reads, New technology for energy device that heals itself from damage incurred while generating electricity. Now ahead of you, you see a picture of said device. It says ionic polyurethane based TENG. Enhance output performance, health, healing, and biodegradation. Starts with an IPU nylon. This is the IPU film friction layer. It gets healing, the damage gets healing, and it goes, and then from the film itself that does the healing, looks like it gets discarded. Now the caption is graphical abstract. Credit Nano Energy 2024 DOI 10.101.6-J. I can make this bigger. J.NAN.2024.109.706. I'm going to bring it back to regular size. Okay, now to the article itself. A team led by Professor Lee Jo-hyuk of the Department of Energy Engineering at DGIST has developed an ionic polyurethane-based triboelectric generator with self-healing, biodegradable, and high electropositive properties. The work is published in the journal Nano Energy. The device also has been designed as a green energy device that can minimize the impact on the environment by facilitating self-healing and biodegradability. We're significantly enhancing power output performance through the use of ionic liquid. Based upon these properties, it is expected to be used as a sustainable power source in next-generation soft electronic devices and wearable devices. In recent years, significant research has been conducted on the use of, quote, triboelectronic generators, unquote, which convert kinetic energy into electrical energy through friction as a next-generation power source. For this purpose, high durability and stable power production is essential. The device must be able to self-heal mechanical damage caused by continuous friction. The device will demonstrate greater value if using eco-friendly technology can be decomposed with microorganisms and returned to nature after losing its functionality, minimizing harm to the environment. Professor Lee's team was developed a polyurethane-based triboelectric generator that can be used as an environmentally friendly next-generation power source. The research team utilized imadelinium ions for self-healing functions and high electropositive properties, and polycaprolysone or PCl-based polyurethane for biodegradable, quote, ionic polyurethane, unquote, to develop triboelectric generator. And ahead of you see a related video entitled Global Renewable Energy Transition May Hinge on the World's Poorest Nations, as per Straight Arrow News. And you'll be able to watch this video at the publishing of this review. As you know, of course, as it is embedded, as you can see in the video itself. Owing to the self-healing, biodegradable, and high electropositive characteristics, the ionic polyurethane is highly efficient in producing electrical energy and a sustainable power source for the next generation soft electronic devices, which minimizes the impact on environmental pollution. The research team conducted a procedure to verify the superiority of the newly developed device. By analyzing the power output of the ionic polyurethane-based device under various conditions, they found that it generates a power density of up to 436.8 milliwatts per meter squared and has a self-healing efficiency of approximately 90%. They also found that after 300 days of biodegradation, only 21% of the initial mass of the device remains. Quote, through the research, we have developed an efficient material that integrates self-healing and biodegradation functions while maintaining high power output performance, said Professor Lee Jo-hyuk from the Department of Energy, Science and Engineering, DGIST. Quote, this innovative technology can provide a sustainable power source for next generation wearable devices. And in our follow-up research, we will endeavor to commercialize the technology. The publisher would like to point out that for more information, Hyun Seo Ju et al. Engineering self-healable and biodegradable ionic polyurethane with highly tribopositive behavior. Nano Energy 2024 DOI 10.1016/J.NANOEON.2024.109706, provided by DGIST Daegu Gyeongbuk Institute of Science and Technology. And the author would like to author or publisher would like to point out that this story was originally published on Tech Explorer. Subscribe to their newsletter for the latest sci-tech news updates. Okay, very good. Let's talk about our second video. And before we read the second article, not video, but article, we'd like to let you know this is for review, informational, and educational purposes. It's not to take the credit for the intellectual property of the article. The full credit to the intellectual property of the article goes to the publisher, which is Tom's Hardware, and the story by Jeff Butts. That's Butts. I guess his last name. The headline reads, New 3D printer ink makes recyclable electric circuits without heat or light. Pretty amazing, right? Scientists from the US and Korea have developed an innovative new link for 3D printing that can build easy-to-recycle electric circuits and other structures without the need for heat, light, or toxic chemicals. Their research was recently published in Nature Communications, supported by National Science Foundation in the US and the National Research Foundation of Korea. In most forms of 3D printing, the raw material requires a combination of heat, pressure, and light to become a rigid structure. In FDM printing, the filament must be melted and then cooled into its form shape within resin 3D printing. Ultraviolet light is applied to the liquid material to harden and cure it. In this new approach, the research team uses a polymer called and this is N, as isopropyl or PNIPAM. And PNIPAM is a non-toxic and used by pharmaceutical industry for drug delivery systems. In 3D printing, that's all that's needed to solidify the PNIPAM in salt water at room temperature. And ahead of you see the, such device they're referring to. That's the PNIPAM based ink, the solidification of PNIPAM, that's CaCi2, wetted glass substrate, and then you have the PNIPAM/CNT ink, and at the end you have a printed structure. The captions read, Image Credit Nature Communication. The researchers extruded the polymer using commercial healthcare grade 3D printer to pump the material into mixtures of calcium chloride and water. It solidified immediately into neat, intricate structures capable of conducting electricity. The team used the method to make an electric circuit mixed with carbon nanotubes, which then powered a small light bulb. Recycling the material was accomplished by dissolving the structures in fresh water and then evaporating water in an oven at 158 degrees Fahrenheit, that is 70 degrees Celsius. And in front of you, you have another picture here. This looks like printed structure. Shows you, looks like under a microscope what it would look like. Then, of course, here we have the symbol for recycle. And also the size of it, I think, length. This is nanometers. So, caption reads, Image Credit Nature Communications. Senior author Professor Jin-Hei Bei from the University of California, San Diego pointed out that the method is, quote, is all done under ambient conditions with no need for additional steps, specialized equipment, toxic chemicals, heat, or pressure, unquote. Since the polymer is easily reverted into a raw state, structures made from PNI/PAM could be used for the disposable electronics, robotic components, and prototyping. Quote, this offers simple, environmentally friendly approach to recycle polymer materials, unquote, Bay said. Given the increasing need to deal with e-waste, the ability to recycle electrical circuits from devices so easily could be a real boon to given more environmentally friendly. And I think that concludes it. Yep. Let's go to a third and final article of the review. It'll come up. Thank you very much. And as usual, we would like to let you know that this is for review, informational, and educational purposes. It's not to take the credit for the intellectual property of the article. Full credit to the intellectual property of the article goes to the publisher, which in this case is phys.org, and the story by ScienceX staff. The headline reads, Increasing solid-state electrolyte conductivity and scalability using helical structure. And ahead of you, you see this artistic description of the helical structure, as in the shape of the structure itself. Caption reads, does it make this larger? Artistic representation of the helical peptide polymer electrolyte with the macro dipole indicated by arrow with positive and negative charges. Credit goes to Granger College of Engineering at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. I'll bring it back to normal size. Solid-state electrolytes have been explored for decades for use in energy storage systems and the pursuit of solid-state batteries. These materials are safer alternatives to the traditional liquid electrolyte, a solution that allows ions to move within the cell, used in batteries today. However, new concepts are needed to push the performance of current solid polymer electrolytes to be visible for next-generation materials. Materials science and engineering researchers at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign have explored the role of helical secondary structure of the conductivity of solid-state peptide polymer electrolytes. That's kind of a mouthful, right? And found that the helical structure shows greatly enhanced conductivity compared to the, quote, random coil counterparts. They also found that the longer helices lead to the higher conductivity, and the helical structure increases the overall stability of the material to temperature, and voltage. Their research, quote, helical peptide structure improves conductivity and stability of solid electrolytes, unquote, was published in Nature Materials. Quote, we introduced the concept of using secondary structure, the helix, to design and improve both the basic material property of ionic conductivity in solid materials, unquote, says Professor Chris Evans, who led this work. Quote, it's the same helix that you would find in peptides in biology. We're just using it for non-biological reasons, unquote. Polymers tend to adopt random configurations, but the backbone of the polymer can be controlled and designed from a helical structure like DNA. As a consequence, the polymer will have a macro dipole moment, a large-scale separation of positive and negative charges. Along the length of the helix, the simple dipole moments of each individual peptide unit will add up to the form of microdipole, which increases both the conductivity and dielectric constant, a measure of a material's ability to store electric energy of the entire structure and improves charge transport. The longer the longer the peptide, the higher the conductivity of the helix. Evan adds, quote, these polymers are much more stable than typical polymers. The helix is a very robust structure. You can go to high temperatures or voltages compared to random coil polymers, and it doesn't degrade or lose the helix. We don't see any evidence that the polymer breaks down before we want it to, unquote. Further, since the material is made from peptides, it can be degraded back into individual monomer units using enzymes or acid when the battery has failed or reached the end of its useful life. The starting material can be recovered and reused after separation process, reducing its environmental impact. Chris Evans is an affiliate of the Materials Research Laboratory, or MRL, and the Beckman Institute for Advanced Science and Technology at Illinois. The publisher would like to point out that for more information, Ying Chen et al. Helical peptide structure improves conductivity and stability of solid electrolytes. Nature Materials 2024. DOI 10.103./S41563-024-01966-1, provided by the University of Illinois Granger College of Engineering. The publisher would like to point out that the story was originally published in phys.org. Just subscribe to their newsletter for the latest sci-tech news updates. And that will conclude the third article for the review. Before I conclude the review, I would like to first of all thank you for taking the time to watch this review, as you could be watching any other tech review or science and technology review, but you're watching mine, so I greatly appreciate it. Now, where this did provide value to you, what I'd like you to do is please click like on the video. That way it'll be pushing the algorithm, more people will be able to view it and enjoy it. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button. That way you'll have access to all the content on this channel, as I certainly do have a variety of content on this channel, and in the future I'll be having even a greater variety, so make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Also, if you haven't already, please click the bell button. That way you'll be notified of all my future videos. That is, when new videos come out, you'll be notified accordingly. So I'd like to wish you a great day wherever you are in the world. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time.